2 more sleeps until I go home. And the part that I'm most nervous about is that first night. I'll likely have to stay in the city where I was living before I left. And it's a really, really busy neighborhood, and I fear that noise, just having to sleep with all that noise reverberating through my nervous system. And it'll be a long train ride, and then I'll get back late, and then maybe not have another good sleep, because I'll have to sleep on the train one night, and then maybe the next sleep won't be that great, and hopefully I can insure my car. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to take an extra dose of hearty nutritional starting today, just to help my body navigate some of the extra stress of this transition. And yesterday I was feeling really sad to leave. I'll miss the quiet and the beauty and the people here. And I know I'll also be glad to be home and with my family and friends. So it's just a difficult transition. I remember before I left to come to California, I was really nervous and I almost felt like maybe I shouldn't be going, but I'm so glad that I did. And I am really glad to be going home. And I get waves of excitement of seeing my family and friends. I just know that it'll be a little bit difficult for my body to adjust to the different environment. And maybe it won't be, but I just really feel the implications of the possibility of just not transitioning well and then maybe going downhill or being really affected by other people. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know why I have a negative worry about it. And it's probably because worst case scenario, I end up back in the psych ward or worse than that. I don't know, but it probably won't be like that at all. I just have that fear. It's kind of like the brain thinking about worst case scenario to be prepared for that. But there's a lot of best case scenarios that I don't even know. So hopefully I can just abide in that. But it is stressful to go from one place to the other, especially when I've been away for so long. And I wrote an email to that arts festival I was supposed to perform in and say I don't think I can do it because I wanted to create something else to perform, but then I wouldn't feel good about doing that unless I got their approval. So that would be extra steps to be like, well, I'm going to create something, but I don't know what, and wait for it. And I thought maybe my brain would come up with something, but it hasn't, and I don't want to perform that comedy routine based on having a label of bipolar disorder. That's like taking so many steps backwards from what I've created for myself. But I do feel bad that I didn't tell them sooner. I guess I was hoping I would create something, but then I realized it's going to be enough pressure just transitioning back, let alone having this in my mind for the next 3 weeks that I need to create something to perform at this show. And then I also realized 10 minutes, that's so out of context from what I actually do on a near daily basis, which is talk to myself for half an hour to an hour or so. And 10 minutes in public, I feel, would just sort of confuse the energy of that. And just having so many people perceive it is like having so many mixed energies being directed at me. And I do sort of fear that other energy. And yeah, so I feel like just staying to myself and keeping to myself. And I won't be keeping to myself because I'll have lots of people to visit and catch up with, but not putting extra people and perceptions in the mix when I don't really have to. And again, I wish I would have realized this sooner instead of telling them kind of at the last moment when they have me lined up to perform this stand-up comedy. When I sent in my stand-up comedy video as an audition, it was probably shortly after I got to California, like 5 months ago. So I didn't realize that I'd be tapering off my meds and all of that. And maybe I would have been okay performing it when I got back had I still been on the meds, but I'm not, and I don't really want to identify with having that label and all that's implied in that. So, yeah, I have a lot to talk about, and I'm running into technology issues. My 6-year-old mini Mac is jam full, and my phone is kind of full, and I need to upgrade my technology if I'm going to continue this conversation with myself. So we'll see how that goes too. So much to do when I get back home. I hope I can just pace myself. And I have to go, but I just wanted to check in because I haven't been doing videos because I'm in this immersive workshop and it's really good, but I'm feeling like stressed about packing at the same time and getting ready to go, and will I be able to carry all my stuff, or will I have to ship stuff back, or should I just leave a bunch of clothes here? We'll see what happens, but it's just a little bit stressful. I'll feel good again once I'm on the train and just relaxing and sitting there, and I'll have lots to do on the train. Maybe I'll make some videos on the train like I did on the way down. Today my computer says you haven't backed up your computer in 158 days. So it seems like I'll be away for 160 days. And once I cross that border, I'll just feel like I did it. I went to California, and I also tapered off meds, and maybe if I can just allow that to sink in, then whatever else unfolds is okay, and not really stressing about how quickly I get those other things done that I need to do. Oh, the practicalities of life. I just got back from my last trip to the beach, and I leave for home tomorrow, so less than 24 hours, and I will be on a train to home. And I am taking a very long train ride, 33 hours, and that's kind of crazy, but I find flying quite stressful, and the whole going through the airport, security and everything is a little stressful, whereas taking the train is just hop on the train. So it's a really long ride, but I have lots of stuff to do. Just integrate and sort of prepare myself for seeing my family and friends again. And so I went to the beach today, and it was really beautiful, and I went in the water twice and just said goodbye to the beach. And yesterday I was feeling really sad about leaving. I cried, and I wasn't really expecting to. Or that might have been the day before, I don't even remember. I'm sort of losing track of time. I was taking a course here this last week, and so I haven't really been talking to myself as much, and I kind of miss talking to myself. I think my brain is going into this weird mode. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a mode of not really talking to myself as much and not keeping that area of the brain going. And I learned a lot in the class, and I took a lot of notes, so I do want to talk about that at some point. I have lots to talk about, so I'm kind of looking forward to doing that again at some point. And I'm feeling kind of off because I bowed out of that festival I was supposed to perform my comedy routine in, just because that routine doesn't resonate with me. And then I talked about maybe creating something else, but I just don't really have the time, and to put that kind of pressure on myself right when I get back isn't really a good idea. But I haven't heard back from them yet, so I'm feeling like the anxiety of, crap, I kind of messed things up there, and I'm sure it's a lot to fix when there's like a lineup of performers and then all of a sudden one ducks out. There's a lot of details to fix, I'm sure, and I feel bad about that. But I'm feeling like I just want to be in the moment and not really go too many steps ahead of myself, and not really put myself anywhere but the moment. And that's one of the things I like about this self-dialogue, is it's just something I do in the moment. And it's not about preparing for something or planning or practicing. It's just talking. So that's another reason why the performance didn't really feel congruent with the process that my brain is somewhat adapted to, and then doing something outside that could actually put me in a bit of a something, I don't know, and it's just kind of stressful. So I'm taking extra vitamin C and an extra dose of the Hearty Nutritionals right now to prepare myself for leaving. And I'm just getting packed up. There's my big bag, and I'm going to have to send my rollerblades back in a box. And then I have this bag with some of the books and papers I collected and all the extra meds that I never had to take. There's all my extra lithium, and I would have had to take all of that if I was taking all of it the whole time. And I could just throw it out, but I might just take it back just in case. Just in case what? I don't know. And then I just have to bring my Hearty Nutritionals and my little bit of personal stuff, and remember to grab the stuff from the bathroom, and I'll be gone. And something I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do an enema. And this is so I don't have to go number 2 too much on the train. And I have 2 of these, so I might actually do one on the train. I've never done an enema on the train. And that's definitely something a crazy person would do, is an enema on a long train ride. We'll see how that works out. So I'm going to go do that. And I have a lot of packing and tidying up to do, so I'm not sure if I'll do a video tonight, but I feel for my own wellness, it would actually be good to do some videos soon. Probably on the train. So, one more sleep until I go home. It's been quite the journey.